Sup guys, in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you exactly how you can get started investing into real estate with as little as £1.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Yep, that's right. In today's video we are going to be talking about REITs, which in full stands for Real Estate Investment Trusts. I'm going to be explaining exactly what they are. I'm going to be talking about the benefits and the risks of investing into them, and then finally I'm actually going to take you onto my mobile phone and show you how to invest into them and how to pick the right one for you. So let's not waste any time. Make sure you hit that like button down below and let's get straight into it. Okay, so in the past 12 months UK house prices actually rose over £31,000 on average, which is of course fantastic if you already own investment properties. However, if you don't and this is something you are desperate to get into, being able to save enough money to put down a deposit on an investment property is becoming harder and harder every single year, making it almost virtually impossible for new investors to get onto the property ladder. This is where we introduce Real Estate Investment Trust, which is now being touted as one of the best ways that you can invest into property, not for only cheaper, but at the same time receive passive income payments along the way. But what exactly is a REIT? Well, in simple terms, a real estate investment trust is simply just a company that owns a large portfolio of both commercial and residential real estate. And when they were introduced into the UK in 2007, they had the purpose of generating rental income and interest from the property sales for investors. So in even more simple terms, it's simply just a large company with lots of money that is able to buy lots of different properties, whether that's residential or commercial, and then in return they allow everyday investors like myself and you to be able to own a slice of that portfolio. In fact, when you actually think about it, investing into something like this is very much like purchasing a stock of a company. And just like stocks, in fact, if you want to invest into a REIT, you will have to do this through an online broker. And what I'm going to be doing later on in this video is giving you a full demo on how you can actually do that. So stay tuned. But now we've got that cleared up, let's now talk about some of the benefits of actually investing into a real estate investment trust. Number one, they are affordable and they are simple. Okay, so one of the main and obvious benefits of a real estate investment trust is of course the affordability and the simplicity when it comes to investing into them. Whether you have £1 or whether you have £100,000, you can actually invest into real estate investment trust, and it's extremely simple to do through commission-free trading platforms like Free Trade and Trading 212. There will be no solicitors involved, there will be no real estate agents involved, there will be no unforeseen delays involved either. Simply, if you want to invest into a real estate investment trust, you will just go to your dedicated trading platform and you can do that straight away. So that is benefit number one. They are extremely affordable and they are extremely simple to invest into. Benefit number two are the high dividend yields that they are able to offer. Now, to actually be considered as a REIT, you actually have to meet a couple criteria, and the main one is they have to actually by law pay 90% of their incomes back to their investors. This also actually gives them some nice tax benefits, such as not having to pay corporation tax on any of their income, which then in return allows them to offer a higher dividend yield. One thing that is very common within REITs is that you will actually see dividend yields higher than 5%, which is absolutely fantastic when you compare it to some of the top companies in the S&P 500, where their average is anything between 2% or below. So if you are somebody that is looking to invest into the property market with the goal of receiving passive income straight away, then maybe investing into REITs over individual stocks could be a better option for you. Benefit number three, access to commercial real estate. Now, when it comes to REITs, you will actually find that a lot of them will actually invest into commercial buildings. You will get REITs that invest just into residential, you will get REITs that just invest into commercial, and then you will get REITs that do a little bit of a mix of the both. The reason why I say this is good is because if a business signs a lease with a commercial property, this is normally for a long period of time, whereas let's say just for example my property that I own, if my tenant wanted to leave at any time because they have served their minimum 1 year lease that I set out at the start, they can simply just hand their notice to me, and within a month I could be tenantless in my buy a property potentially receiving no income from it. Whereas with commercial properties, this is obviously going to be a lot more long term and a lot more secure as well, and there's not going to be as many of those times where you're going to be sat there with a void in your rental properties. Benefit number 4 is liquidity. Now this one is actually my favorite benefit of them all, and that is the fact that you can get in and out of your investments as soon and as quick as you possibly want to. Now let's say on the other hand you actually invested into a brick and mortar, so a physical building, and you wanted to sell that property and nobody was really interested in buying it, then it could be potentially years before you actually get your investment back from that property. You also have the fact that you have to deal with real estate agents and solicitors once again, and all of those unwanted delays and hidden fees as well. Whereas with real estate investment trusts, when you are done with your investment and you want to cash out, all you have to do is go to your trading app and click that sell button. And then finally, there are no contracts involved at all, and there is no minimum time that you actually have to be invested into the REIT for. But they are basically the benefits. Now I do want to highlight a couple of the risks as well, because it wouldn't be a fair video if I didn't. Number one, just like any kind of investment, there is always risk involved, and that price could potentially go down in the future. Let's say property prices were to drop, or commercial property prices were to drop, then the likelihood is that the price of your real estate investment trust is going to drop as well. And then risk number 2 is that whilst real estate investment trusts are really well diversified, they are not quite as diversified in terms of income as to if you were to invest in one of the larger public traded companies. The reason why this is that, say you invested into a trust that owned 4 buildings and one of those buildings was to shut down for one reason or another, this means that the trust would not be receiving any income from that property, which would then in return mean that your dividend payments and your price of the trust is obviously going to go down. It is unlikely that something like this would happen, but I thought I would mention it anyway. But all in all, I personally believe that the benefits of owning a REIT completely outweighs the risks, and I think it's something that everyone should consider. Okay, so now I have weighed up the benefits and the risks of REITs. Let's now jump onto my mobile phone, where I'm going to take you through a trading app that I use called Freetrade to show you a couple examples of some real life real estate investment trusts. Okay, so what I'm showing you here is a screen share of me using Freetrade. It's a completely commission free trading platform. By the way, if you did want to sign up to Freetrade, there is a link in my description down below, and if you do sign up with that link, you will get a free stock worth up to £200, so it's well worth doing. But if you haven't and you don't want to, you can find REITs on any kind of trading platform in the UK and the US, but for this video we're just going to be demoing it using Freetrade. So if you are using Freetrade and you want to find a REIT, what you can basically do is come down to the sectors section here and scroll all the way across to property, and if you were to click on property, what you will see is lots of companies here, as you can see. But what you can tell is that some of them aren't going to be REITs, but the ones that are going to have REIT at the end of them. And basically you can then go and take a look at what types of buildings, whether it's commercial or residential, they're investing into. You can then take the actual company and do some further research on your computer into them if you wanted to. But what we're going to do in this video is just show you a couple of examples on how you should be taking a look at these. So let's actually start off by going to the search tab, and what I'm going to do is search for one of the more popular ones, which is in fact British Land. So as you can see, British Land here is a diversified REIT, and if I go to click on it, what you can see, this is the price of the company here. We have the option to sell it, which I can't do because I don't own any at the moment, or we have the option to buy it. So you can just buy it like an ordinary stock. What you can also do is if you actually scroll down, you can see some stats about the company. So this one here, in fact, has quite a low dividend yield. It actually has 2.88%. This is quite low for a REIT. But what you can also see here is a little bit of a brief description about the REIT. So this one says, this huge real estate investment trust invests into commercial and residential property sites, including the Cheese Grater building in London, which is of course a very, very big and famous building. If you wanted to find more out about British Land, of course you can go ahead and Google it, but realistically, if you just wanted a brief overview and you wanted to keep things as simple as possible, all the information that you have is going to be within this section of the app. And basically, if you wanted to go ahead and buy British Land, you simply go ahead and and click buy, and then you can enter the amount that you want to invest into this company. So that is exactly how you go ahead and buy a real estate investment trust. What I'm going to do is come back here and we're just going to click on some random ones just so we can take a look at the different sectors and the different things that they invest into. In fact, if I actually come to this Discover page, we actually have some US REITs here. So we've got this one here that says American Assets. So let's take a click on this and see what this one offers. So this one offers a little bit of a higher dividend yield, as you can see, 3.17%. And this REIT acquires and develops and manages offices, retail and residential properties in the Western US and Hawaii. So that's quite interesting. Let's go back and let's find another one here. So let's close see all. Let's go Park Hotels REIT. Park Hotels REIT and Resorts Inc. PK runs a portfolio of hotel properties. It was formed in 2017 as a spin-off from Hilton Worldwide. So there are so many different REITs that you can invest into and all of that good stuff. What I like to say to people when it comes to actually picking your investment trust to actually invest into, I'm not going to sit here and give you recommendations because everyone's investing goals are different. However, there are some key factors that I think you should actually consider. Number one, do you want the REIT to be residential or commercial, or do you want it to be a mix of both? Number two, you're going to want to think about the area that the REITs are investing into and the industries that they're investing into as well. As you saw in my demo there were a few different kind of combinations that you could potentially come up with. And then number three, you want to be checking the dividend that they actually pay out. So as you can see on my free trade app, you want to be looking for the dividend yield. This is the percentage that they're going to be paying out in terms of how much you're investing. One thing that I'm actually going to be doing with my investment portfolio is adding a new REIT to it, possibly this week. And of course, once I have done that, I'm going to be making a video all about it. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe down below, hit that bell notification as well so you get that video as soon as it comes out. But that is pretty much real estate investment trust, a great way to start investing into the property market without actually having to put down masses of money. Hope you liked this video, guys. Leave it a like down below if you did. Leave me a comment with any questions or anything that you have to say. But apart from that, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.